again, my little yarnivores and spiderettes. Fiber Spider back again with another tutorial just for you. And today we've got ourselves a really simple, lovely stitch, the Primrose stitch. It's very simple with only a 2-row repeat. Think you guys are really going to like it. It's perfect for wraps, scarves, blankets, what have you. And for this particular swatch that I worked up, I used Red Heart Super Saver Ombre in the Anemone colorway. And I always love the transitions that come about with this yarn. It is gorgeous. And for this swatch, I used a 6mm size J crochet hook. Now for today and the tutorial, I'm going to be using a DK weight. It's a weight of 3. And this is, I believe, a Bernat DK Sport yarn. And I'm going to be using, where's my hook? Here it is, a 5.5, a size I crochet hook for today. And without further ado, let's get started. Alrighty, so as per usual, first things first, our base chain. For this stitch, you're going to need a multiple of 3 chains plus an additional 2 chains. Now, I already have here 17 chains. Multiple of 3, 5 times, that's 15 stitches, plus the additional 2, I've got 17. You can, of course, make this as wide or as narrow as you want to. I always suggest do a swatch first. That way you can see how many chains you would ultimately need for the finished width of the project that you want. Also, it gives you a sense of how the stitch is going to go. So get your base chain ready, multiple of 3 plus the additional 2, and we shall get started with row 1. All right, so row 1. We are going to start by doing a single crochet into the 3rd chain from the hook. And typically I like to just go underneath the top loop, of the V of that chain. So single crochet, like so, then chain 2, and single crochet into that same chain that we just went into, creating sort of like a little baby picot, if you will. And then skipping 2 chains, going to that 3rd, doing the same thing. So that is a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet into that same chain. There. Skipping 2 chains, going right into that 3rd, with a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet into that same chain, skip 2 chains into the 3rd, single, chain 2, and another single. There we go. Okay, one more. So skip 2 chains, going into the 3rd, single, chain 2, single. Single, chain 2, and single. There we go. And then you will have 2 chains when you reach the end, and going to just do a half double crochet into that last chain, skipping 1 chain, going into the last with a half double. So you yarn over and pull up a loop, and then pull through all 3. Ta-da! That's simple. And so your finished row 1 should look something like this. Now, if you are not crazy about how the loops where you did your 2 single crochets, that they get a little bit stretched, sometimes that bothers me, sometimes it does not. If it does bother you, what I would suggest is instead of going underneath just 1 loop, go underneath 2. And that should help somewhat. It's a little, something that I've found. Anyway, let's move on to row 2. Okay, row 2. So going to start by chaining up 2 to give us some height. You could, chain 3, but I find that makes it a little too much of a gaping hole on the side. So I like to chain 2, turn the work, and then into our chain 2 spaces that we just created, 3 double crochets. And it can be a little bit tricky to see where that chain 2 space is. So if you want, again, you can change it up a bit, and instead of doing a single chain 2 single, you could do a single chain 3 single. Personally, I think that the 2 chains works out fine. There are no crochet police saying you can't do a certain thing. It is okay. If you want to tweak it a little bit, by all means, go ahead and change it up a bit so that it suits your purposes better. That's what I always say. So we have our 3 double crochets into that chain 2 space, then scooting right ahead to the next chain 2 space, 3 doubles. And this sort of creates our primrose petals, if you will. So 3 doubles. And then into the next chain 2 space, another 3 doubles. And into that next chain 2 space, 3 doubles, etc., etc., etc. It's very, very, very simple once you get the hang of it. Okay, one more to go. 3 doubles into that chain 2 space. And then when you reach the end, which we are almost at, double crochet right into this last little stitch right here, right into that space, right there, with a double crochet. There you go. That is the end of row 2. All right, so row 3, it's very similar to the first row, except we're not building off of a base chain. So for row 3, start by chaining up 2, turn the work, and we're going to be working strictly within the middle center double crochets of our trios. So into that middle double crochet, single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet into that same stitch. Skipping ahead to the next grouping, that center double, go right in with a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, same stitch. Next grouping, center stitch, single, chain 2, single. Okay, next grouping, center stitch, single, chain 2, single. Okay, last grouping, center stitch, single, whoa, chain 2, single. And then at the space here, I like to work within the space. You could work into the second chain from the bottom. In this case, I really think it is, sort of a moot point. It's really, it's fine, in my opinion. So working into the space, a half double crochet. So yarning over, pull up a loop, and pull through all 3 loops. I think it looks just fine as far as the side edge goes. Sometimes yes, sometimes no, but I think in this case, yes, fine. All right, so that is a full repeat, and we're going to do the repeat again rows 2 and 3. Whether or not you want to end on a row 2 or a row 3, that's totally up to you. Depends on what kind of edge you want to have. So let's go back to row 2. Okay, so row 2 for the repeat, chain up 2, and turn the work. Get the little tail out of the way there. And then into the chain 2 space, 3 doubles. It's kind of, in a way, reminiscent of the granny stitch, because you got the clusters of 3 doubles. I guess that's why I gravitate towards this. You know, I dig it, you know. So we've got our 3 doubles. Scooting right along to the next chain 2 space, 3 doubles. Except it's not quite as lacy as the granny stitch. Also, the shells, if you will, they're not staggered, they're aligned. So, you know, whatever your preference is, go for it. Next, chain 2, 3 doubles. Okay, next chain 2, 3 doubles. There we go. Next chain 2, 3 doubles. There we go. And last but not least, right in the space of the row below, double crochet. There we go. So that is row 2 for the repeat. Okay, row 3 for the repeat. Chain up 2. Turn the work into that middle center double crochet. We need a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. Scooting to the next grouping, center stitch, single, chain 2, single. Next grouping, center stitch, single, chain 2, and single. Next grouping, center stitch, single, chain 2, and single. Last grouping, center stitch, single, chain 2, and single. And then into the chain space at the very end, half double by yarning over, pulling up a loop, and then pull through all 3 loops. And there you go. So really, I would say to each their own, whether you want to end on a row 2 or a row 3, regardless, it is gorgeous, it's easy, it works up fast, and I really like it. All right, my dears, so that's going to conclude today's video on the Primrose stitch. Really hope that you liked it, and if you did, please give a little thumbs up button down below. You know that I appreciate your appreciation, as always. And stay tuned for more, because whether I'm doing crocheting, knitting, sewing, origami, audiobook narrations, cooking, well, I dabble. What can I say? I like to do a lot of different creative things and sharing them with all of you. Thank you for joining me today, and you know what to do until next time, right? I want all of you to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, stay stitching, and please stay safe. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now, everybody, and have a great day.